the next week, we're going to be starting with our first week of the next level. So I'm asking you, or I recommend you to finish the activities of the week number 8, and also the checkpoint 7 and 8, and also the final point as soon as possible. Yeah, because to enter to the next level, it's necessary to have finished all of that, all checkpoints, final checkpoint, and to answer a final survey. Ready? Mr. Adam, tell me.
Teacher, a question, una pregunta, profe, respecto a temas de calificaciones, pues yo, digamos, vi el tutorial que usted mandó y pues yo no he tenido, pues, la oportunidad, yo sé que usted está a cargo de este grupo y no he tenido la oportunidad mucho de tener clase con usted. ¿Podrías hablarme un poco de cómo es que uno ve esas calificaciones? Porque
Ah,
pues,
ah, sí,
intenta y no me ha aparecido, pues para
bueno,
saber cómo más o menos voy.
claro, of course. Bueno, yo igual les dejé el videito por ahí por WhatsApp, pero es sencillo, es realmente muy sencillo. Además, yo abro por acá. Y si ustedes ingresan directamente, obviamente, el curso, listo, y sus calificaciones les van a aparecer, o sea, aquí aparece una pestaña que dice Grades, pero ahí se las muestra muy simplificada. Entonces, no les recomiendo que lo hagan ahí, sino les recomiendo que lo hagan en la parte de Class Progress, ¿listo? En la parte de Class Progress, ustedes van a poder encontrar más detalladamente todas sus calificaciones, ¿listo? Recuerden que hay algunas actividades, especialmente las actividades PIP, que no tienen nota, entonces puede que les aparezcan sin nota. Lo más importante aquí es que las actividades Play y Checkpoint estén calificadas. Y bueno, hasta hace como una hora dejé todo calificadito. ¿Listo? Entonces, bueno, no sé, bueno, busquemos a Adam cha, 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 Sánchez. Listo, my friend. Estás acá. Entonces tú entras, o sea, cuando tú ingresas a Class Progress, solamente te va a aparecer el tuyo, ¿no? Acá me aparecen todos, pues porque yo soy el tutor, pero aquí únicamente te va a aparecer el tuyo. Aquí te aparecen varias diferentes pestañas con información diferente. Entonces, que las notas, que el contenido que has visitado, que ta, ta, ta. Listo. Lo más importante aquí es ir a la parte de quizzes y en la parte de quizzes te va a mostrar semana a semana la nota que has obtenido. ¿Listo? Entonces, mira, ahí puedes ver todas tus notas. Si quieres ver retroalimentación, le vas a dar en detalle, details, y ahí te aparece la retroalimentación o el comentario de la actividad. Si no tiene retroalimentación, pues es que simplemente tuviste una nota perfecta y no hay ningún problema, ¿vale? Entonces ahí puedes ir mirando semana a semana cuáles son tus notas. Por ejemplo, es la semana número 1, todas las notas de la semana
Profe,
número 1. Sí.
qué pena, digamos, hay notas que uno le pueden llegar a aparecer, digamos, de esas que le aparezca sin nota.
Sí, por eso te decía, hay actividades, por
Ah, ok.
ejemplo, mira, esta actividad PIC, ¿tú la enviaste? Sí, normal. Pero si no se calificó es porque no tiene nota. Especialmente actividades PICs y PIPs. Mira, estas PIPs y estas PICs no tienen nota. Ah, bueno, la mayoría no tienen nota, ¿listo? Pero las actividades Play, mira, aquí están todas las actividades Play y las checkpoints, esas sí todas tienen que tener nota, ¿vale? Porque son las actividades realmente como evaluativas.
Listo, profe, gracias.
¿Listo? Bueno, my God. Great. Paola, cuéntame. Tell me.
Teacher, at the end of this intermediate one, are you going to give us a certification or something like that?
The platform is going to give you a certification of completion, una certificación de completar el nivel, ¿sí? Si ustedes quieren una certificación de estudios, ya eso hay que tramitarlo con las asistentes académicas, ¿listo? Para la certificación de completar el nivel, ahí sí la pueden descargar directamente al inicio, aquí en la parte del inicio, donde dice premios, cuando ustedes finalicen les va a aparecer un certificado que dice que terminaron pues su nivel correspondiente, ¿listo? Pero pues eso es solamente como para certificar que acabaron todas las unidades del nivel, ¿right? Pero si quieren certificado de estudios, que ya es algo diferente, se tramita a través de las asistentes académicas. Si quieren más tarde les comparto el correo en caso, pues depende de la certificación que necesiten, ¿listo? ¿Right? Bueno, guys, thank you so much. I am really happy to see you here because I have never had class with Juanita, Adam, probably one class no more, Paola and Sara also, few classes. So I'm really happy to see you here. And well, as I said before, we're going to work this week on the week number 8. And the topic of this week is going to be related to job and success, right? So it's related to different things about our professions and success. Do you remember what's the meaning of success?
Éxito.
Éxito, right? So if we have been successful in our lives or not so much, or what is the most successful moment of my life? Ready? This week, I would like to start with three questions that I'm going to ask you, and you can answer the one that you prefer. First, what is your biggest accomplishment so far? And then here we have the word accomplishment. And I would like somebody to tell me, what do you understand by accomplishment? What is an accomplishment?
Como logro.
Exactly. Very good, Emmy. So it's going to be something that we were able to do in the past. Yeah. So for example, I would say that my biggest accomplishment was buy my apartment. Buy my apartment was a pretty good accomplishment. Also, I would say that graduate from the National University, that was also pretty good, right? Also, get my master degree. That's another of my accomplishments, right? What about you? What is your biggest accomplishments in your life? Maybe you have one, two, three.
For me, my biggest accomplishment was graduate from high school last year.
Exactly. Well, Amy is super young, so she just graduated from high school, so that was her biggest accomplishment. Very good, excellent. What about the other people
Yes, mine is similar. I graduated with honors and I was the best student in my class last year.
from high school too?
Yes, from high school.
Okay, very good, Paula. Congratulations. So she graduated with honors, right? Like honored. Excellent, my dear. Very good. What about Juanita? What about Sarah? What about Adam? Any accomplishment that you want to share?
For me, an accomplishment, the biggest accomplishment was to really start with my age, start teaching in a school because of I'm just graduated from high school.
No way, really? And you started teaching in a school?
Yes,
What subject?
English, but it was so basic because of I had a B2 level by British Council, but here I'm restarting and knowing again what is the concept that I've been losing around the time and to achieving the things to make a higher level.
Yeah, great. Well, it's just, when you already achieve a B2, it's going to be just a matter of practicing, 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 making fluency, because of course you already know all the grammar, well, most of the grammar, and it's just a matter of practicing. Congratulations, Anna. Very good, right? Well, now that was the first question. The second question, it's on the other side. Yeah, we already talked about our accomplishment, which is something from the past. Now, I would like to know, what is your biggest goal for the future? Do you know what is the meaning of goal?
Like meta.
Exactly. Well, that one is more popular now. So the goal is going to be metas, right? So what is your biggest goal for the future? What do you think?
I I think my biggest goal can be graduate from the university.
Okay, from what major, my dear Sarah? What career?
I think veterinary.
Very good. Graduate as a veterinarian or graduate from veterinary. Excellent, my dear. Do you already start the university?
No, not yet,
No,
but
yet.
I want to.
Very good. Excellent. I hope that you can get it. Okay. Any other goal that you want to share with me?
I think my biggest goal for the future is graduate for NYU, the University for New York,
Which major?
in medicine.
Medicine. Are you already studying medicine?
No, I'm
No.
still in high school.
Oh, you're still in high school. Okay, Vanita, great, excellent. For the boys, I can hear that all of you are like more mature, because you speak so like, okay, no, my goal is already defined. By the time I was in high school, I didn't define, I had not defined my goals. But okay, great, excellent. Congratulations on that. And then I would like to know, which are the steps to achieve that goal? Well, which are at least the initial steps. What do you think? What are the initial steps to achieve that goal?
Uh, Teacher, in my case, I'm studying software engineering, sorry, and I believe the steps are studying coding all the time.
Mhm. Coding, it means like programming?
Yes.
Okay, great, excellent. And can I ask you something? When do you study? If you are working in a school, I suppose that you are grading papers and stuff. So when are you studying?
I study on the nights. I usually do it, but there are days that I don't have classes. For example, today, so I um, I study English.
Okay, great, excellent. My friend, congratulations on that responsibility. Very good. Anybody else have an idea what are the steps to achieve your goals?
For me, is this study English because I think I moved to U America to study in New York.
Medicine in New York.
Yes.
Okay, do you have any university defined?
Yes, I want to study in NYU, the University of New York, and Newark University. It's
Okay.
near to New York.
Yeah, that one is near city. Yes, very good. Okay, Juanita, great. So of course the first step is learning English, but so far so good. You have a great level. Good. Okay, anybody else? Any other kind of steps? Bueno, okay, no problem. Don't worry. Ready? So in this case, right, that's what we're going to be working on today, our accomplishments and our goals and the steps for the next class, right? For example, here, the business manager says, okay, I managed to make a lot of money the last year. I hope I will have started my own company by the end of this year. And the woman asks, what about you? Then the teacher says, by the end of 2027, I would like to have published my own didactic material because I have managed to create a lot of material to teach during all these years. Great. So in both cases, the business manager and also the teacher, they are sharing both things, goals and also accomplishments, right? Talking about accomplishments, the business manager says that she managed to make a lot of money the last year, especially the last year, right? And the teacher says that he has managed to create a lot of material to teach during all these years. In this case, it's not on a specific date. It's not like in this case that it's last year. It's going to be all these years. So it was through a lot of time, right? So there is a difference between talking about something that happened once or that it's already finished to something that has been happening for some time. In this case, during all these years. Paula, question.
Sorry, teacher. Why do you use sometimes I manage and I have managed?
Exactly
Both
that.
are correct?
Both are correct. That is the question that we're going to solve today. Because why sometimes simple past and why sometimes present perfect? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. When we talk about things in the past, we have two possibilities. One possibility is that the action is completely finished. One other possibility is that the action can possibly continue, right? So in that case, we're going to have to define if the goal is the achievement. It's something that happened just once, or it's something that has happened many times, or that will possibly happen again. In that case, the accomplishments are going to have two possibilities. I can do it with simple past, or I can do it with present perfect, right? The expressions are two: be able to, and manage to. In both cases, what they mean it's like lograr algo, right? So be able to, it was like ser capaz de, and manage to is lograr algo, right? But in that case, of course, I can like conjugate it into the simple past or into the present perfect. If the be able to it's conjugated in simple past, it would be was or were able to. Yes, I was able to, you were able to. Or if it's conjugating to the present perfect, I can use have or has been able to. Both are possible. From the expression be able to, I can obtain was or were able to, and also have or has been able to, depending on the situation. And with manage, I have also the two possibilities. In simple past, but manage to, that's it. But if it's present perfect, have or has managed to. Sorry, managed to. What is the difference? When I use the simple past, o sea, was able to or managed to, is because the action is already finished. For example, in here, in the example of the business manager, the person said, I managed to make a lot of money last year. Last year is already finished. So that's why I use the simple past. Yeah, I was able to. Also, I can say, oh, sorry, I managed to. I can also say I was able to make a lot of money last year. Both expressions are fine, but both must be in simple past because it was last year. The action is already finished. On the other hand, the teacher says, I have managed to create. Yes. Why I have managed or I have been able to? Why? Because it's during all these years. So it's an action that possibly continue and that is not completely finished. Yes. It's an action that has happened many different times and can possibly happen again. So as the action is not completely finished, I use present perfect. I don't use simple past, right? We have other different kind of examples. For example, right a second. For example, here I said, Mrs. Sarah, could you please help me to read this example here?
I was able to, I managed to get a high score on the final test.
Exactly. I was able to, or I managed to get a high score on the final test. Why? Because it was only once on the final test. That's it, right? Specifically on that time. The final test was the last week, for example. So it's already finished, right? Mrs. Juanita, help me to read the other example here.
I have been able to, I have managed to get a high grade all this semester.
Very good. So in that case, it says all this semester. The semester is not finished yet. No, we are still in April. The semester is going to finish probably in May or June. So it's not finished yet, right? So that's why I said I have been able to, or I have managed to get high grades all this semester. The action has been repeated during all the semester and can possibly happen again. Ready? So that's the difference between using simple past or present perfect for describing achievements or accomplishments. Ready? What do you think? Questions, difficulties, clear, not so clear? Paul says it's okay. Okay. Sarah, Juanita, Amy, Alan. Yes, no problem.
Here.
Marvelous. Very good. So looking into into those two expressions, right? Into be able to and manage to. I'm going to repeat the question for you. People, so far until now, what has been your biggest accomplishment? Right? For example, I told you three accomplishments that I had. One was graduate from university, but I graduated from the university like 10 years ago. So what do you think? Simple past or present perfect?
Simple past.
Of course, simple past. So I'm gonna use oh my God, sorry. I managed to graduate from the National University. From the National University. Yes. That one is in simple past because I already finished, right? But pay my apartment. Well, I was able to buy my apartment 2 years, 3 years ago, but I am still paying because, of course, it was very expensive. So I am still in the process of paying my apartment. Yeah. Until this moment, I haven't missed any fee, any of the fees, ninguna cuota, right? I haven't missed. So I can express that I have been able to pay my apartment. Yes, I have been because I continue, no? Because I have paid for 3 years, but I continue in the process of payment, right? So that's why I cannot say I was able to. No, I have been able to, right? What about you? What has been your biggest accomplishments, my people?
For me, I managed to graduate from high school last year.
How would you express it with be able to any?
Uh, I have able to uh, finish
To graduate.
high school.
Exactly, very good. So
Okay.
in that case, she could say I was able to graduate from high school. Wait, high school. Very good, right? Take into account that if I want, I can express the goals or the achievements of the other person. For example, Emily was able to graduate from high school. Yes, I can use it with me, but also with other people. Very good. What about the others? What has been your biggest accomplishment? I know that you already told me, but I want you to tell me with the right expression now.
I was able to give a speech in front of 300 people.
Okay, I was able to give a speech in front of 300 people. What was the speech about, Paul?
Was in my graduation.
Mhm.
My teacher chose me to give the speech.
Was it like a farewell for the prom?
Yes, like motivation for the future.
It was a farewell message. Farewell es como de despedida, ¿no? Como de bye bye, but motivation for the future too. Muy bien, Pau. Excellent. Great. What else? Do you have any other achievements so far? Nothing? Well, so for example, well, I'm going to use Adam's example. He said that he started to teach in a school, right? And he's just a high school grad from the last year. So he's pretty young for working or for teaching in a school, right? So how could we express that achievement of him?
I was able to start giving classes.
Exactly. Well, if it's in your case, I was able to start giving classes. If it's any other person that it's not Adam, well, he was able or he managed to start giving classes in a school, right? Listo, guys. So far, so good. So the accomplishment part, well, is really simple. You have two possibilities, but everything depends on your intention. Okay, ready? Now, on the other hand, as I said before, we have the goals. And the goals are, I mean, of course, are for the future, but they are uncertain. What is the meaning of uncertain? Sorry, uncertain. What is that?
Inciertos.
Inciertas, very good, Emmy. So why? Because that is something that we expect, but we are not sure that we're going to get it. Of course, we are working to get that. Yes, I mean we are doing everything in our abilities to get those goals or to complete or to fulfill those goals, but it's not completely certain that we are going to get it, right? So that's why when we talk about uncertain goals, we are going to have the future perfect. The future perfect, we know that it's used with future plus have plus verb in past participle, right? In this case, the future can come from will have, and the verb in past participle, like this, will have gotten, or would like to have, and then the verb in past participle. I have two possibilities. Would like to have, and then the verb in past participle, right? This one, it's like habré hecho, habré, o habremos, o habrá, right? Eh, creado, montado, iniciado, whatever, the verb in past participle, right? And the other one is would like to have, me gustaría haber, and then the verb in past participle, right? Me gustaría haber iniciado, me gustaría haber creado, me gustaría haber comprado, me gustaría haber tenido, you know? So, but when we talk about goals, and especially when we talk about the future perfect, we have to establish a time limit. The time limit is going to be the moment when we expect that we have completed that goal. For example, in this case, it says within 5 years. Within, it means dentro de, yes? Or by the time I am 30, yes? By the time. So in this case, when we use goals, we're going to have expressions like, for example, by the time, oh my God, sorry, wait. By, yes, by the time, within, yes, or simply by, for example, by 2027, into the future, yes. If we go back to the example of the teacher and the business manager, wait, we're going to realize that, for example, in this case, she says, I hope I will have started my own company by the end of this year. So it's by the end of the year, the person expects that she will have started her own company. Or for example, the teacher says, by the end of 2027, I would like to have published my own didactic material. Would like to have published my own didactic material. So when we look into the future, we have the possibility to express the year or a specific moment in my life. By the time I am 30, by the time I get married, by the time I move to New York, by the time I start my career, by the time I graduate from university, by the time, and then the moment. Yes? So, and the action, you know that when we use the future perfect, the action is not going to happen in that moment. For example, if I say, by the time I graduate, by the time I graduate from university, supposing that you take 5, 6 years, let's say that this is more or less 2031. Let's say 2031, more or less, right? So, but the action is not going to happen in that moment. No, the action can happen in any moment from the present. Here we are in 2025, from the present until that moment. So the action can happen here or here or here or here. We don't know specifically when, but it's going to happen before because this is the limit of time. So it's not here, it's before that moment, right? So for example, if I say, I would like to have moved abroad. Do you know what is the meaning of move abroad? Do you remember?
En el extranjero.
Yes, exactly. So I would like to have moved abroad by the time I finish or I graduate from university. So maybe you move here in 2027, possibly, or maybe here in 2030, or maybe here in 2026. We don't know specifically, but we know that it's going to be before the 2031, right? Or the 2031. So it's before the moment. That's why we use the future perfect. Both possibilities, will have or would like to have, right? So, my dear people, in that case, we have, as I said before, the two possibilities. The first one, with will have, usually introduces the expression I hope, because it's expressing that it's not secure, that it's not certain, that it's something probable, but not certain. Good. So, I will have gotten my PhD within 5 years, right? Or the other possibility, I would like to have had children by the time I am 30. Ready? So in that case, my dear people, the idea, yes, it's that you can talk about the past with the accomplishments and the future, yes, with the goals. But anyway, you are talking about, well, in this case, we're talking about like accomplishments or goals can be related to social life, economical life, working life, academy. There are different, like health of your body, physical aspect. There are many different aspects that you can talk about. No, for example, I don't know, by 2029, let's say by 2029, I hope I will have kept my shape. I am talking about a goal, but something more related to my physical aspect, you know? Or for example, another person said, no, teacher, I am more focused on my money. So, I don't know, within, which remember that it's dentro de within 3 years, I hope, or let's say I would like to have invested in, no sé, in real estate. Do you know what is the meaning of real estate?
Bienes raíces.
Bienes raíces, very good. Yes. So in that case, when I say within 3 years, I would like to have invested in real estate, right? Would like to have, and then the verb in past participle. Here, will have and verb in past participle. Will have and verb in past participle. Ready? So, questions, difficulties about it? Is it clear the difference between one and the other?
It's clear.
Okay, very good, right? Bueno, my dear people. So in this case, the idea is that we can talk about both and mix past and future, yes, for talking about important aspects of our life. I would like to ask you, like, what is your biggest goal for the future? But now I would like you to specify the time. When do you expect that you will live in New York? The next year? By 2029? When do you expect that you graduate from software engineering? By the end of the 2030, maybe? By the time you are 25 years old? Tell me, yes? So express your goal, but please tell me specifically when do you expect to get that goal?
Well, in my case, by the time I start my career, I would like to have a good English level.
Okay, very good. So by the time you start your career, I would like to have had or have gotten, right? Because it's like, gustaría haber adquirido, ¿cierto? Haber obtenido. So I would like to have gotten a good English level, right? Muy bien, Sarita. Thank you so much.
Sure, but by the time that I graduate for software engineering, I would like to have acquired the necessary skills for programming.
Okay, very good. I hope that you will, but okay, great, excellent. Anybody else?
I hope
Bye.
I will have gotten a bilingual job within 1 year or less.
Like, could it possibly be like a call center or something like that?
Who knows? Maybe call center, virtual assistant. I don't know.
Better, yes. Call center agent, it's too exhausting. It just make you unhappy. So if you can avoid it, great. If you can get other different job, much better. Great. Emily,
By 2030, I hope I will have graduated with a degree in international relations.
from what university? I mean, do you have a university established?
Maybe the University of the Los Andes.
No. Andes University. Good. Muy bien. Very good, Emily. Great. And Juanita?
Okay, I hope I will have moved to New York next year.
Next year, but by the end of the next year, or by January, or by April, by when?
Start. I don't know which month it will start.
By the beginning of the next year.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. My God, but that is a lot of things to arrange, no? So are you already currently working on the residence and the permissions and all of that?
Yes, since last year I planned that.
I have been planning that.
Yeah.
Muy bien, very good. I hope that you can get it, my God. I am happy for you. Bueno, very good. So, guys, so far so good. So, the first part was talking about my accomplishments using present perfect and simple past. Great. The second part was talking about future goals. But as we're talking goals, it's not certain. So we use future perfect, whether we will have and the very past participle or would like to have and the very past participle, right? The third question that we saw at the beginning of the class was which are the steps to fulfill that dream, right? Now, in this case, when we talk about steps, it's a good idea to describe it using which of these steps are mandatory or which of these steps are optional, right? In which case, it's a good idea to use modal verbs in passive voice. Why? Because when we describe a process, which of course a goal is a process, right? It's a process for the future, yes? The idea is that we can talk about a different moments of that process. And some of those moments might be mandatory, yes, like an obligation, and others might be optional. Depends on the process, right? So, for example, Juanita wants to live in New York. So for her, it's mandatory to speak in English, right? Maybe for Emily, it's not mandatory because she's going to study here in Colombia in Los Andes University, right? It's a good idea, of course, and it's something like completely um, motivational for her career, but it's not an obligation, right? It's not an obligation to get, well, it's an obligation to get a B1 level or B2, but it's not an obligation to get so fluent, right? So in that case, we are going to have different modal verbs for describing the different steps of our goals, right? As it's an impersonal case or an impersonal step, it can be described using be and then the very past participle, of course, accompanied with the modal. For example, to live in New York. We're going to talk about to live in New York independently if it's Juanita or if it's Adam or if it's Paola or if it's Sarah or if it's Emily, no problem. The recommendation is the same. And I consider that to live in New York, English, and here it comes, must be learned. Ready? Must be learned. I think it's an obligation. That's why I use must. Yeah. So I said English must be learned. Maybe another person says, no, teacher, in New York live a lot of Latinos and bueno, maybe to live in New York, English must not be learned, but to study in NYU, English must be learned. No, so in that case, it's necessary, right? Or I can say, for example, no sé, Adam, mentiras, sorry, Paola wants to have a bilingual job, right? So I can say that, for example, to have a bilingual job, CVs, what is the meaning of CV? I forgot it.
Como hoja de vida.
Yes, it comes from the Latin curriculum vitae, ready? Which is hoja de vida, ready? Or resume is the other word. Resume should be sent, right, to different companies or to bilingual companies, right? But then the object, in this case, the resume or the CV, or in this case, English, and then the modal verb, be always, and then the verb in past participle, yes? Deberían ser enviadas, debe ser aprendido, right? Depending if it's only a good idea, I can use can, could, should, may, or might, or if it's something mandatory, which in that case I have to use must, or the modal verb have to, ¿cierto? For example, English has to be learned because it's an obligation, okay? So depending on my process that I want to describe, I can use these steps, right? This is not only for the description of for the steps of the goal, but it's also for describing different kinds of process on your jobs, right? For example, in the bilingual job, you're going to find job as a, I don't know, as a assistant, right? Or as a creative director, whatever. Let's say an assistant, right? So when we describe or when we use modal verbs in passive voice, it's going to allow me to describe moments of a process. For example, the report, should be typed. Do you know what is the meaning of typed?
Clasificado o categorizado.
To, but it could be in this case typed, like typing, like redactado, right? Like digitado, más bien, right? Also type as categorizado, but in that case, I'm talking about typed in the keyboard, yeah? So the report should be typed by the assistant, for example, right? And then the report needs to be checked by the director, for example. And after that, the report must be signed. What is the meaning of signed?
Firmado.
Firmado. Very good, excellent, right? So the report must be signed, right? So this structure of the modal verbs in passive voice is going to be very, very flexible and diverse because it's going to allow me to do many different things. I can describe processes. I can describe the steps of a goal or an objective, right? I can describe impersonal suggestions. I can describe many different things using this structure of the passive voice of the modal verbs in passive voice. Guys, do you have any question with this structure of the modal verbs in passive voice, or is it good? Is it clear? Great, no problem. Listo, very good. Okay, so guys, I would like to know if you could tell me, please, how do you post a picture on Instagram? What is the process? Imagine that I have my cell phone like this, like it's off, right? I mean, it's not off, it's on, but it's locked, it's blocked. So what should I do first?
First, in Instagram should be opened.
Good, excellent. So the application, in this case, IG, should be, but is it optional to open the app or it's necessary?
It must to be opened.
It
It
must.
must be opened.
Exactly, very good. So yeah, Instagram must be open. Oh my God. So, muy bien, bien. After that, what about?
You have to choose a photo.
Good. But it's not only me. Any person does the same. So in that case, I'm going to switch the position. A photo or a picture, a pic must be chosen. All the other way to use the passive voice, right? And then after that,
Teacher, how do you say like the test over the, como lo que tú pones en la foto?
like
Pues
the
como el
filter.
texto que puedes.
Ah, los
No.
textos. O los, bueno, la edición, ¿cierto? La foto debe ser editada en general. Texto, stickers, lo que le quieras poner, filtros, whatever, right? So, the pic, en ese caso sí no es obligatorio, es opcional, right? So, the pic what?
Should be edit.
Edited. Very good. Edited because finish in T. Cuando el verbo termina en T y es regular, ahí sí debo pronunciar la sílaba final. Edited. Ready? Entonces, muy bien, the picture should be edited. And finally,
The pic must be paused.
yes, must be post, también termina en T, sería posted. ¿Ready? Siempre que el verbo termine en T y sea regular, o sea, cuando vean esta combinación T, ahí sí suena esa E, solo que suena como una I corta. ¿Listo? Como una I corta y una D. ¿Right? Entonces, reported, edited, posted, ¿right? Siempre que termine en otra letra diferente, como por ejemplo en este caso que termina en N, ahí sí no suena. Sería Instagram must be opened. Opened. No open it, ni open it, sino opened. ¿Yes? Suena como una T corta. ¿Vale? Listo, my dear people. Entonces, excellent job hasta ahí. Right? So, for finishing today, I would like to like establish two different questions, right? The first one, it's what do you expect to have achieved within 10 years? Imagine that you already went to university, graduate from medicine, from veterinary, from international relationships, from software engineering. What do you expect to have achieved within 10 years?
In 10 years, I would like to have visited every country in Europe.
Even in Eastern Europe?
Uh, Sorry, I can listen.
Even in Eastern Europe, like Estonia,
Yes,
what?
every place.
Okay, muy bien, Emi. Excellent. Good job. Good goal. What about the others? What do you expect to have achieved within 10 years?
Well, I would like to have my own car and house, if it's possible, and maybe graduate from the university.
Okay, so I would like to have, you could say my own car, but in that case, it would be in 20 years. But when I say I would like to have, it's like in a specific moment in the future. But I would like to have both, then we can use within 10 years. Dentro de 10 años me gustaría haber comprado. I would like to have both my own car and apartment. Ready? And graduated from the university también. Muy bien. Excellent, Pau. Thank you so much. And
Sure.
mhm,
I'll I'll hope I will have graduated from the university within 5 years.
okay. Well, so in that case, Adam is shorting the time to 5 years. No? He says, I hope I will have graduated from university within 5 years. Perfect. Muy bien. Listo. Sara?
Yes. I would like to have start my own veterinary within 10 years.
Perfect. Very good. So she would like to have started her own veterinary shop or vet shop within 10 years. Muy bien, Sarita. Ojalá que sí. Yes, very good. And Juanita, do you have one?
Yes, in 10 years, I would like to have had my own clinic.
No way, your own clinic?
Yes,
My God, that's an ambitious goal. Okay, good. This is very good. Get careful that we have a difference between in and within. Yes, when I say in 10 years, it's because the action is going to happen in 10 years, o sea, in 2035, right? Cuando digo en 10 años es porque la acción va a pasar en ese año. Pero cuando digo within 10 years, ¿qué va a pasar en algún año de aquí hasta 2035? No sabemos si 2020, no, 2026 o 27 o 2030 o 2031. Es just de aquí a allá. ¿Ready? Entonces es en ese año o dentro de ese plazo, dentro de 10 años, ya habrás establecido. ¿Ready? Entonces cuando uso future perfect, que es would like to have o will have, uso willing. Cuando uso in, lo que va a hacer es futuro simple. Will y el verbo en infinitivo, como I will have my own clinic. ¿Sí? O, for example, as Paula said, I would like to have my own car and house, right? Listo, guys, muy bien. Y la última, antes de irnos, what has been your biggest achievement this year? Only this year. One thing that you feel proud about.
I hope I will have a complete my software development course.
Again, Amy, I didn't listen quite right. Sorry, one more time.
I hope I will complete my software development course.
Ah, okay, but that's for the future. But I'm talking about what is the biggest achievement that you have completed in these 4 months? Something that you feel proud about. Do you know what it's feel proud of or proud about?
Sentirse orgulloso sobre algo.
Exactly. So one action in this year, January, February, May, or March or April, that you achieved this year. Only this year, not graduation from school because that was the last year. Only this year, something that you have accomplished this year. No? For example, this year, as a matter of fact, I been able have been able to lose 4 kilograms. Good. Exercising, of course. So I have been able to lose 4 kilograms. What about you? Something that you have achieved this year? Of course, there are many things.
Sure. For me, I have been able to start programming without any fear of failing on the code.
My God. What language do you use?
Python and JS.
Okay, great, man. And have you taken courses before? Of course.
Not only this year, I started practicing, and it was difficult because of we are used to learn something in the school, but when we put it on practice on the real life, we realize that we don't know anything about that subject. It was something that happened to me.
Of course. It was what you saw in the school is just the basic, the very, very basic, and then you start entering to the real world. Okay, that's great, Adam. Congratulations, Mike. Anybody else? Achievement this year?
Me. I was able to read 7 books these 4 months.
Oh my God, great. 7 books. Good. But what do you like, Juanita? Novels or
Um, I think Colombian novels like the I think the neighborhood story like Aranjuez and something like that.
okay, great. Colombian literature is really motivating for us, right? Muy bien, very good. Anybody else?
In my case, I managed to go to Mexico to visit my sister,
What city is Sarita?
Mexico City.
Mexico City is beautiful city. Crowded,
Yeah,
but it's beautiful.
yeah, it is.
Okay, Sarita, congratulations, my dear. Good. And Pau or Emily, do you have any accomplishment this year?
I have been able to start my technical training in trade operations.
Okay,
in
that
this
you have already been able to.
Yes,
Congratulations,
in
my
this
God, it
moment.
sounds difficult. Okay, Emmy, thank you so much. And Paula?
This is a small accomplishment, but for me it's really important. I have managed to get a better English level.
My God, I don't know what was your level before, but you all five have wonderful level. I'm feel really proud of having classes with you guys. Because you have all of you have a very good level, and nobody can say the opposite, right? So, my God, congratulations on that. And it's not a small accomplishment. I mean, no accomplishments are small. That's really important for you. It's a big accomplishment. Okay. Guys, congratulations on that. I repeat my invitation to advanced on the activities. Ready? So by the end of the week, you have almost finished the activities of the week number 8. Ready? Because the next week we're going to start with the classes of intermediate 2. Okay? So
Teacher, a question.
yes,
How do we receive our grades or, the certificate?
of the
How is it?
as I said before, wait. When you finish the course, the the first part, wait, you're going to receive oh my god, where is it? It's right here. When you start at the beginning of the platform, in the homepage of the platform, you have here it says premiums or prices. I'm not sure. And there you can find your certification when you finish the course, the level. Ready? So, but if you need a certification of studies, you have to contact to the academic assistants, right? But for the completion certification, it's right here in Premiums. Ready? So, and the grades, you can check it as I show you at the beginning of the class, okay?
Thank you, teacher.
Great, no problem. Guys, we have class on, mentiras, on Thursday. Yes, Thursday at 8 p.m. I don't know if you program, but if you did, see you there in class and have a wonderful night, okay?
Bye, Mister.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
Good
teacher.
night. See you later.